Opening things up last game, was that like part of the plan? Was that out of necessity, or you foresee that kind of continuing up as you move forward?
It's just what's there,
Yeah.
you know. I think that, you know, if you think about I think we threw it 42 times, but we had multiple clock drives. You know, I just want to win, and so whatever that looks like, I'm good with. We've got, you know, we're trying. You know, the call sheet's going to be balanced, and it's whatever the game presents itself. Thought there were times where we handled opening things up really well, and times where, you know, I wish we had a little more detail to our work.
What did you like the most about what Vonnie gave you guys in that game?
I think there's a couple instances where he really stood in there and took some hits. And he got the ball out of his hand pretty quickly at times. So I think those were probably the big ones. We didn't run as much of the option game that we've run in the last couple weeks, but just, you know, we're going to take what the defense presents for us, or what we see as an opportunity. I thought he did a good job.
Because of that, there was speculation or worry that maybe Giovanni's health forced you to dial that back. You're saying that was more of a game plan situation?
Yeah, it's just
the option.
It's game plan stuff. It's what people present to you, and everybody presents different problems, and we're going to attack it when we see that opportunity. We've got ways to attack different things, so that's not a health thing. I think I've told you guys that before. I want the quarterback to run with the ball. I want it to be in open air and open space, so we don't want to run those things into bad looks.
How do you feel like he reacted to that game? How's, you know, he's sort of been since that game ended?
It's good. I think, you know, it's a learning experience, because there's a lot of good, but you know, Coach Riley used to say to me, don't overlook in victory what you would dwell on in defeat. And if we would have come back and won that game, it's not like you can overlook those little details that were really important to the outcome of the game. You lose the game, and you can't stop thinking about them. So those are the things that, you know, we've always got to be teaching and learning and working on getting better. It's a competition against ourselves and not necessarily the other team. So we're going to work on things and be a little more detailed this week. But I think you guys saw it and I saw it. There's a lot of good in there too.
Do you sort of move forward? I mean, a lot of bodies down on defense. Do you sort of ramp up the need to score more? You know what I mean? To kind of potentially get ready for something like that.
I think when you try to be something you're not, or try to, obviously you're always trying to score more,
Yeah.
but when you've got to be the best version of you, and that's, as I've talked about, getting better. I think, you know, there was a time in that Oregon game where I felt like we got to go, and then you get away from being yourself and you're not as good at the offense. So we got to focus on us and being the best at what we do best. And I think that's when we'll do our best, and we, you know, play the most complimentary football.
I guess then how do you balance trying to get a 7.5 minute drive with, you know, passing around more and trying to score?
Well, I think what I would tell you is I've never really tried to have 7.5 minute drives. It's just kind of the nature of the way that it happens. It's the nature of the way that we play and how aggressive we are with the third and fourth down stuff that we do. You know, I think somebody told me today, I think we lead the nation in third down distance. So how many yards we have to go on third down. I don't know if that's true or not. I haven't looked it up, but I was told that.
Yeah.
So I think that's a little bit of how we play, which I guess lends itself to longer drives. But, you know, I think we had 2 5 or 6 play drives in the last game that scored touchdowns. Hey, I'm all for it. Yeah.
What happens to you and the team that last drive in the second quarter, 4th game in a row? You came through pretty good there at the end.
Yeah, it's them. I mean, they don't blink. We work on that stuff a lot. You know, we spent a lot of time at practice. We spend a lot of time as a staff watching it and talking about those situations. I get a lot of really good communication from Coach Bray, Coach Heck, Coach Boyer on, you know, what those drives are. I think the stuff is well thought out. You know, it's thought about before we get out there. It's not just, hey, we're rolling a ball out there and freestyling. So it's a lot of work, but the guys don't blink. Like they look really natural with it, and I think have handled it really well.
After watching tape, Hankerson's performance for you guys on the offense Saturday?
Yeah, he's just tough. Like, the kid is a football player. He's so dependable. You're gonna have to carry him off that field. Like, he's great, and I'm just really thankful we have him. The way he ran the ball the other night was pretty impressive.
The split with those guys, would you like to see a lot get more run, or were you comfortable with those carries?
Yeah, I think we've just got to be calculated with when we get those guys in there, Sala and Jake. Not because we're trying to spell Hank, but because those guys both add something to the room. I think I've said it before, but it's not. When I was here, it was, hey, the only way Steven Jackson's coming out of that game is if his shoulder's out of the socket, or Evanson Bernard's only coming out of there if he can't move. So we've got a lot of guys that we feel really good about.
How did you feel like Salah handled that workload?
Great. Yeah, freshmen this is the time of the year where freshmen, your vets are detailing, and those freshmen are really ascending because it's clicking. It's starting to make sense. There's a lot of faith in him, and he's continuing to grow, and I feel like he's done a really nice job. Coach Ford's done a good job kind of bringing him along at a good speed, too.
I guess just to clarify with that, like, you're okay with Jam 26, 28 carries, like that, you're comfortable with that, and he's
With Hank?
Yeah. Hank.
Yeah.
Sorry, I said Jam.
Yeah. I think there's, carries, touches, whatever that is. Like, I think it's more of, I'm up in the box, and Coach Ford's going to have a better feel for just the look of the kid and how it looks, how he's carrying himself, body language. Hey, I got to get somebody else in there. We want him fresh when we are finishing football games. So we've got to find ways to make sure that we can do that. And we got to continue to grow Jake and Sala because they're good football players.
Tight ends have been more involved in the past couple of weeks in the passing game. Was that by design, or is just what the defense has given you?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it just happens organically. Sometimes you're going to force it a little bit more. We saw some opportunities to get them the ball. As you run the ball better and better, there's opportunities in that run action pass game to get them the football. And there's plays versus Colorado State where we're trying to throw it to them, but they're holding them, and we got 15-yard penalties on it. So sometimes it's not always reflected in the stat book also.
Noga gives you guys a lot that doesn't show up in the stat book,
Yeah.
and this week he puts up some big numbers. What stood out on tape, just kind of about?
I thought the two catches that he made when they kind of dropped him in coverage I would have liked the quarterback to push the ball down the field a little bit further so he could have caught it and gone. But they were a little bit underthrown, but they were tough catches. The kid's just dependable. He's always going to be in the right spot. He's going to do all the stuff correctly. You're not spending a bunch of time correcting him. He just is solid as a rock. So he's a really dependable football player.
We'll go last question.
When you talk about that ascent that Saul has made as a true freshman, just kind of where are the biggest areas of growth you've seen from him?
Well, the biggest areas are going to be just learning the offense. But when you play in high school football, I get to be an athlete, and I get to move, and I react. There's more technique and detail to everything that you do, and understanding where those cuts are going to be made. There's not a lot of high school football. It's, hey, just block. If you see somebody, block him. Here, he's got to be really detailed in what we ask him to do in the protection game, and that comes with experience. So it's all that stuff. But I think he's gotten into the details and more of the understanding of kind of the finer points of playing the position.
Awesome.
Coach,
Thanks, Coach.
one more.
Thank you.
Josh is poised
Yeah.
to play his 50th game, which would equal the school record. Can you describe what he brings to the team and to the line?
Yeah, I mean, it's a toughness, consistency, smart. He's just kind of he's exactly what you want kind of all across your offensive line. Consistency is probably the most valuable thing that you can get in a college football player, and that's what he is. He's also learning a new position as he goes, and has gotten better and better each week. So very, very, very grateful that he's here.